Well, I waited for 11:11 to get here, so good morning or evening, afternoon, because the 11:11 is a new beginning, and it's a masterful new beginning. Means a lot of things. The angels are with us. There's a vertical line between heaven and earth, and the channels are opened. Means a lot of things. Today's video is very special. And I probably won't make it through it without crying. The title is, I Finally Met Mr. Sino. And we cried. I was notified yesterday that Mr. Sino, yes, the man behind SwissIndo and the Kingdom of God, Sky Earth, wanted to meet with me and other peace delegates from around the world. Others had met with him before in a previous meeting, and some of the other peace delegates were there in Cirebon with him for this meeting. For a good while I simply sat and observed, listening to what I could understand. Several languages were spoken, and even when it was English, the meaning was not always clear. I will need to ponder some of what I witnessed before I can feel confident in sharing it. But one thing I have no problem sharing is that Mr. Sino is real. He really does have a vision for all mankind, and he is deeply spiritual and insightful. I was moved to tears as he himself cried openly before all of us. That was even before he spoke to me personally, revealing our past life connection. Oh yes, it was clear that all of us were connected, family in previous generations. We have come together now from around the world to complete what we did not complete then. We really are the ones we have been waiting for. Yesterday, and so far today, have been most interesting for me. Right after I completed my video yesterday, I went to Mr. Apri Wong's Facebook page, and Mel V had posted a video that she had done with Karen Collin about her visit to see Mr. Sino. And I cried when I watched that video, for she revealed many things that I had heard rumors about from people that only had rumors themselves to report on. But here was a first-hand account by a lady from Europe whose first language is German. And she was sharing what she experienced there in Cirebon, and pictures were being displayed as she was speaking, pictures of her visit to meet Mr. Sino and the other Indonesian peace delegates. And as I said, I cried then, and it gave me a burst of energy. I almost did another video right then, but I decided not to. And I'm glad I didn't, because in the afternoon yesterday, early afternoon I believe, I did get a notice that Mr. Sino was requesting my presence along with the presence of the world peace delegates to meet to a meeting which for my time was 3 a.m. It was 7 p.m. Melbourne, Australia time. And I looked forward to that. In fact, I didn't go to bed till after 10 o'clock last night. And I kept waking up every 20 or 30 minutes to look at the clock after about maybe an hour and a half sleep. I kept looking at the clock, waiting for the time to get here. Finally got out of bed. I don't even think it was 2 o'clock. Well, it wasn't 2 o'clock. It was 1:30. And I was so excited, I forgot to post my video from yesterday on Facebook. It would have already gone up automatically at midnight, which I will schedule this to go up tonight at midnight. or actually tomorrow morning at midnight, my time, Eastern time in the US. And I signed on to the video conference about a half an hour before it was ready to start. I don't know the exact time I signed on, something like that. But there was anticipation at meeting this man that I had heard so much about. And as I said, I sat there and listened. Now, he spoke about the United States a couple of times. I could hear him say the United States of America and stuff like that. But his English is a bit broken, quite a bit broken. And also, the connection, the Indonesian connection was not really good, and so there was fading in and out from anybody that was speaking from Indonesia, and there were a number of people that were speaking there, including some of the people that I actually know from Australia, including Jagamara. He was actually present with Mr. Sino, and some others that I won't name were present with Mr. Sino there, along with the people from the Asian delegation, and also a gentleman who's been very behind the scenes but active in this whole process of getting the funds of the world released to the people and out of the control of the cabal, the Illuminati, the Jesuits, the Zionists, whatever you want to call the people that have been in control of the world's financial system. There have been people like Mr. Sino and this other man whom I'm not going to name. I only met him for the first time in that conference. He actually speaks English very well, so he was easy to understand. But again, I'm not going to name him right now. But I will say this: there's a new World Bank that has been formed. It is funded, and it will allow people to access their wealth. Now, exactly when and how, I don't have the details. Again, there were things that I was shown, that we were all shown, that I just don't know enough detail to explain it. I'm going to have to gain some clarity myself before I can tell the world about this. But for me, when I was told, Ron Van Dyke, Mr. Sino wants to talk to you, and I couldn't see my picture on there, but I was talking and trying to say, well, why isn't it showing me talking? And he actually directed comments to me on 2 different occasions, and I had to have it translated by people that spoke English better than he does. But he revealed that I was his father in a previous generation, not very far removed from the present one, as I understood it, but I might not have gotten that exactly clear. I don't know the time frame. But in any case, one of Mr. Sino's spiritual gifts, apparently, and from what I've heard, is the ability to see past life connections with people that he meets and people that he connects with. He's able to see how they were related to him in a previous life. Sometimes they were a spouse, sometimes a brother or a sister or a mother or a father. Again, I was recognized as his father from a previous generation. And almost without exception, as far as I know, those that he meets, and he did not speak directly to everybody, but to many of us. The thing lasted, God, almost 3 hours. And it was very emotional, very moving. As I said before, he started directing any comments to any of us. He apologized if he had offended anybody. And he began to cry. And I didn't understand all of his words, but I understood enough of them to know what was happening and to feel the emotion behind what was occurring. And it was beautiful. It was powerful. It was loving. It was revelation of things that I have waited for. As I said in the blurb, we are the ones we've been waiting for. And most of us don't even know who we are yet. We don't know that we're kings and queens. Jagamara spoke actually in part of the conference, and he made it clear that we are sovereigns. We are personal sovereigns, and we can relate to the kingdom of God, sky, earth, either as sovereigns or as citizens, but in either case, we will be able to access our wealth. And this was the continuation, as I've felt 3/4 of a year ago when I first heard of SwissIndo. I felt that this was the means, the vehicle, the manifestation of how to make the OPPT filings, making the foreclosure on the corporations known as the United States of America and the international banks, and foreclosing on all of these. And I realized as I learned more that the purpose of the SwissIndo and the creating of the CVAC system was to repurpose the structures of our earth, repurpose the United Nations, repurpose the banks, repurpose the governments, repurpose the corporations, and make them no longer unaccountable, but force them into accountability by the means of the only funding that becomes available ultimately will be funding through SwissIndo, or through this new system. And it's going to be the bridge that I've long awaited to bring us from where we've been to where we're going. I've told you time and time again that a bridge is necessary. And Mr. Sino and those around him, and this unnamed gentleman that I met for the first time, I've been wondering, who is this person that I've seen posts by? And last night, or actually I say last night because I went back to bed and got a little bit of rest this morning before I did this video, I got the blank filled in as to who he was. And folks, we have all taken an oath to the people to serve the people of the world, to be honest, to be transparent. You've heard that with Obama, but he lied because he's part of the corporation. And the oath that people in America take has been corrupted because they swear allegiance not to the Constitution that was established to protect the rights of the people, but to the government, which isn't a government at all, but a for-profit, privately owned corporation in the hands of international bankers and, yes, Jesuits and Zionists and Illuminati, people that want to rule the world. But the way home is being made clear. It was also interesting yesterday that in regard to my post about the interview with Karen by Mel V, I got a personal email from Karen Hudas, who said, "You're working for the Jesuits. You're a," what did she, "you're a troll," or "you're a," not troll, what did she use? I forgot the word that she used. I probably could find it fairly quickly. Let's see. Let's open this up here. Karen Hudas, right? She said, she said regarding the interview, "This is a bunch of bunk and you know it. You are working for the Jesuits. I know about others who went to the same UN delegation as you did. You are a shill," she wrote. And I never went to any UN delegation. Well, unless you consider this what we just did this morning as a UN delegation meeting, because we were peace delegates, and it is the restructured United Nations. And I know that's going to raise the cackles on the back of some of your necks when you hear that it's connected to the UN, but I'm telling you, there's people even in the US government, in all of our governments, that actually do want to do the right thing, but they're controlled by blackmail, they're controlled by threats of violence, they've been coerced into keeping their mouths shut, gag orders have been placed on them. There are people all over the world that have wanted to do the right thing, and it looks as if We're actually going to start having enforcement of the foreclosures against these corporations. We're going to actually have the military being funded and repurposed to do good instead of to do evil. Where the military, where people that are serving humanity in the armed services are going to be able to actually help be the bridge to make a world that works for everybody. We're not home. This isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new journey for each of us, for all of us. And it was emphasized again and again by Mr. Sino and others that spoke, the importance of forgiveness, the importance of recognizing the roles that we've played, not only in this lifetime, but in previous lifetimes, and reconnecting with our higher self, the self that has connected all of those lives and all of those journeys of experience through our human journey in time and space on planet Earth and perhaps on other planets as well, and other solar systems as well. Who knows? What I do know is that none of us have the whole picture. None of us have all the answers. But I'm connected with people of the heart who want to do the right thing, who want to make the world better for everybody, who want to right the wrongs and bring real justice to the planet, and to give people a chance to really mature and grow up and evolve into the spiritual beings that we all are. And to be able to do that not by escaping into some ethers, into some never land that somewhere beyond here, but as physical beings, to actually be able to put on the whole armor of God and to be clothed in the true righteousness of heaven as the kingdom of God, sky, earth manifests here on this planet at this time. There's a long way to go. We're not there yet. As in home, there's still some challenges that await us, I'm sure. And each of us is going to have to step up and step out and be the people that we came here to be, because we really are the ones we've been waiting for. And there really are people of the heart that want to do the right thing. Even Karen Hudas, whom I responded to her, that I felt that perhaps she was the one that was working for the Jesuits, since she thinks that the signer of the funds that are being released has to come as some guy named Wolfgang from Europe, and he's not one of the peace delegates. He's not one of the people that's working for the good of the people. But I don't know him. But we need to forgive whatever roles people have played, even if they've been dark roles. And I'm not saying, I think Karen I admire her. I admire her gumption. I admire her spunk. I admire her willingness to speak out, no matter what. No matter what. I admire all of those that are going to be willing, haven't yet been willing, maybe, to tell the truth. But more and more people we're going to find are going to be able to tell the truth, because it's an 11:11. The vertical axis between heaven and earth has been established, and it's real. And folks, hang on, because it's going to be a wonderful ride. And once again, I'm feeling very, very optimistic and very, very good in my heart. Thank you for listening to me, even when I was down, even when I was depressed, because I was doubting myself that this could be real. But the doubts were washed away as I got to meet Mr. Sino face to face over the internet and cry tears of happy joy with him and with my brothers and sisters that have been involved in creating this new world system that will liberate all of us. Thank you. Namaste.